This week, we waited out the rain and explored New Orleans. After our dramatic entrance into this campground on Saturday, we were ready for anything other than excitement. Luckily, the weather was conducive to staying mostly indoors. It has rained at least a little bit every day since we arrived in Louisiana. I have been so glad I decided not to get rid of my bulky rain boots before moving into the RV. The first couple days of our stay here consisted of not much more than a few walks around the campground to see if we could spot some alligators. Did you know the state of Louisiana has more alligators than Florida? The body of water here is a spillway and pretty clear, plus it's been chilly and rainy, so we weren't sure if these were the best conditions for sightings. We explored the trail through the humid, almost jungle terrain and along the water, but didn't see any. We have seen and heard lots of birds though, which has been fun. They are so graceful. Wednesday was the only dry and mostly sunny afternoon, so we went into New Orleans to tour the French Quarter. It was beautiful, with architecture just as colorful and intricate as pictures we had seen. It was a much larger neighborhood than we expected, and we walked a ways but still only saw a portion of it. We ate lunch on the rooftop of a restaurant on Bourbon Street called Mambo's. We chose traditional fare, which consisted of a shrimp po' boy, which is a very popular sandwich, and some gumbo, crawfish étouffée, which is a stew, and red beans and rice. It was all so good. As we were leaving, we stopped and talked with an unusual pair who said they had just met. One was a local woman who knew everything about New Orleans and told us where to go to get the best beignets, and the other was a traveling street preacher from Kansas City. Rather than work at a church, he travels the country preaching on city streets. They had signs posted throughout requesting no filming, but we walked through the iconic Marie Laveau's House of Voodoo, which was creepy as all get out. I was careful not to touch a thing. Overall, New Orleans was super cool and another place we'd love to stay for longer someday. Thursday brought thunder and lightning along with heavier rain, which was amplified as usual under the roof of the RV. And Toby had to make phone calls all morning. I tried my hand at sourdough English muffins, and they could use some refining, but were pretty good. Boy, good boy, come on! Time for a pup date on Spankee. For those who don't know, for almost the last year, his mobility has been declining as he's had a neurological issue between his brain and his paws, making him step down funny. That, combined with arthritis in his hips, makes him really unsteady on his feet. He would fall all the time and got weaker and weaker until he could hardly walk. We've been carrying him out for potty breaks and bending over bracing him while he walks because he stumbles every few steps. Well, the pup date is he's doing so much better. The warm weather, ample free roaming space, and pain medication we started him on have all contributed. He has better and worse days, but he's building up strength and you can tell he feels happier now that he's more self-sufficient. This is something we definitely hoped would happen as a result of this trip south. What a goof! Saturday, we left Louisiana and breezed right on through Mississippi and Alabama. We stopped in Mississippi just to dump and fill our tanks, but Toby and I, through separate interactions, determined that people in Mississippi are really, really nice. Mississippi and Alabama looked largely the same as Louisiana. We passed by Mobile, Alabama, and went through an underwater tunnel, then more above-water bridges. Finally, we made it to Florida. While it wasn't the beach, it was a beautiful forest, and we were happy to reach our destination state. Stay tuned next week to see where the road takes us.